The Brooklyn streets are buzzing. Hip-hop fans are on fire and the internet can't stop talking about the latest drama involving Fat Joe and Young Buck. What started as a wild rumor about a physical altercation between Fat Joe's crew and Young Buck during the height of the 50 Cent beef has exploded into a full-blown controversy. Now, Young Buck has fired back with a brand new diss track, denying the claims and adding even more fuel to an already raging fire. On his recent podcast, Fat Joe went public with his story, claiming that at the peak of the infamous 50 Cent beef, he and his team scrapped with Young Buck, a revelation that left fans stunned and social media buzzing. But Young Buck isn't taking it lightly. His diss track is raw, direct, and unfiltered, calling out Fat Joe's version of events and defending his own reputation. Fans are dissecting every lyric, every verse, and every line, debating what really happened behind the scenes and who's telling the truth. The story doesn't just end with Joe and Buck. Names like Tony Yayo, Uncle Morta, and even 50 Cent himself are pulled into the conversation. As fans and commentators analyze past beefs, alliances, and betrayals, social media timelines are flooded with reaction videos, memes, and heated discussions, making this one of the most talked about hip-hop controversies in recent memory. In this video, we'll break down the original rumors, Fat Joe's shocking confession, and Young Buck's explosive diss track. We'll analyze what it all means for the legacy of the 50 Cent beef, who's really telling the truth, and why this story has the streets, social media, and the entire hip-hop world watching with bated breath. The streets of Brooklyn were already buzzing, but nothing could prepare hip-hop fans for what Fat Joe revealed on his recent podcast. During the peak of the infamous 50 Cent beef, tensions were running higher than ever, and alliances were tested on every corner. Joe, never one to shy away from sharing his side of the story, went public with claims that he and his crew had scrapped with Young Buck, a revelation that immediately set the internet ablaze. Fat Joe's story was both shocking and nostalgic. For older fans, it was a reminder of the volatile era when 50 Cent and G-Unit dominated the scene, and rivalries were as much about street credibility as they were about music. Joe described the event with vivid detail, recounting how he and his crew confronted Young Buck during a heated moment. The tension in his voice and the dramatic way he framed the story made it impossible for listeners to ignore. Even Tony Yayo and Uncle Morta, who were mentioned during the conversation, were portrayed as bystanders who witnessed the intensity of the confrontation. The podcast clip quickly went viral. Social media exploded with reactions, memes, and heated debates. Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube feeds were flooded with fans dissecting every word Joe had said. Many were skeptical, questioning whether the story was exaggerated or if it was simply a strategic way for Joe to assert dominance and remind the hip-hop community of his influence. Others took the story at face value, expressing shock and awe that such a physical confrontation had taken place during the 50 Cent era. What made this revelation even more explosive was the timing. The 50 Cent beef has been a cornerstone of Brooklyn rap lore, and mentioning Young Buck reignited old conversations about loyalty, betrayal, and the complex dynamics within G. Fans began revisiting old footage, interviews, and social media posts, searching for any confirmation or hints that could validate Joe's claims. The internet became a hive of activity, with fans theorizing about who was telling the truth and what really happened behind closed doors. Amid the chaos, Young Buck decided to respond, but unlike a typical social media post or a comment, he chose to drop a brand new diss track directly addressing Fat Joe's allegations. The track was raw, unfiltered, and packed with confrontational lyrics aimed at defending Buck's credibility while questioning Joe's version of events. Every line, every bar, every subtle punchline was dissected by fans, commentators, and content creators across YouTube and TikTok. Reaction videos sprang up within hours, and the buzz on Reddit and hip-hop forums intensified. This escalation reminded fans why the 50 Cent beef era was so legendary. Back then, feuds weren't just about social media clout or headlines, they were about street credibility, personal reputation, and influence within the hip-hop community. Now, decades later, the same drama is being replayed online, with the added intensity of modern platforms, where every clip, every snippet, and every lyric can go viral in minutes. Fans are revisiting history while simultaneously watching a live continuation of a story that shaped an entire era of rap. Even seasoned hip-hop veterans are weighing in. Analysts and commentators are breaking down the events from multiple angles. Did Joe really confront Young Buck? Is Buck's diss track a strategic move to preserve his legacy? Or is it a genuine emotional response? How do Tony Yayo, Uncle Morta, and even 50 Cent fit into this renewed narrative? Each perspective adds depth to the story, making it more than just a viral incident. It's a multi-layered examination of loyalty, influence, and street credibility. Social media's role in amplifying the drama cannot be overstated. Fans are creating memes depicting the alleged confrontation, parody videos, and compilations of past interviews. One viral clip shows Fat Joe dramatically narrating the event, with captions highlighting every tense moment, while reaction videos of fans shouting, laughing, and debating flood platforms like TikTok and YouTube. The meme culture surrounding the story ensures that it remains trending, keeps viewers engaged, and encourages debate over who's telling the truth. The stakes are high. Allegations of physical confrontation, even decades later, have serious implications for legacy, reputation, and credibility in hip-hop. For Fat Joe, recounting the story positions him as someone unafraid to reveal insider knowledge and assert his influence. For Young Buck, responding with a diss track is a clear declaration that he will defend his reputation and confront any narratives that could undermine his legacy. The battle is no longer just about the past. It's about controlling the narrative in the present, proving who holds the moral and street high ground. The audience is fully engaged. The scene is set for a dramatic escalation, as fans await the next moves, dissect every diss track lyric, and analyze the credibility of each claim. The story is a perfect combination of nostalgia, insider revelation, and modern digital amplification. A high-stakes hip-hop drama that spans generations. The streets, social media, and the music industry are all watching. Anticipating the next chapter in this explosive feud, Fat Joe has set the stage. Young Buck has fired the first shot, and the hip-hop world is left wondering what happens next. Will there be a direct response from Joe? Could other veterans weigh in? Or will this drama escalate further, pulling more players into the story? One thing is certain, the audience is hooked, and the story is far from over. The moment Young Buck dropped his diss track in response to Fat Joe's podcast revelation, the hip-hop community exploded. Social media timelines filled with reactions, fans analyzing every lyric, and content creators creating reaction videos at lightning speed. The diss track was direct, unfiltered, and packed with references that addressed Fat Joe's claims about the alleged altercation during the height of the 50 Cent beef. It wasn't just a song, it was a statement, a defense, and a challenge rolled into one, instantly sparking a wave of commentary across platforms. Fans quickly dissected every line. Some praised Young Buck for addressing the claims head-on, noting that his lyricism and references to past events gave him credibility and authority. Others argued that his track was defensive and might be interpreted as an overreaction. Across YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, reaction videos popped up within hours, breaking down every punchline, every shoutout, and every subtle jab. Comment sections overflowed with debates. Who's telling the truth? Did Fat Joe exaggerate the story? Was Buck's response justified? Fans were glued, replaying the track and scrutinizing the delivery for hidden meaning. Meanwhile, Fat Joe's narrative continued to dominate the conversation. Clips of his podcast were shared alongside Young Buck's diss track, creating a digital back and forth that felt like a live argument playing out online. Fans compiled side-by-side comparisons trying to determine who had the upper hand in both storytelling and delivery. The combination of Fat Joe's dramatic narration and Buck's aggressive lyrical response created a perfect storm of engagement, with fans split into camps defending their favorite rapper while debating credibility, loyalty, and legacy. Adding more layers, social media users began dissecting historical context, references to past 50 Cent beef moments, G-Unit drama, and previous disputes between Fat Joe and Young Buck were analyzed, giving the feud a sense of depth and continuity. Memes comparing the current drama to iconic hip-hop conflicts of the early 2000s went viral, blending nostalgia with contemporary relevance. Fans enjoyed both the entertainment and the historical perspective, connecting the dots between past and present rivalries. Content creators capitalized on the moment. YouTube channels specializing in hip-hop commentary uploaded reaction videos with titles like Young Buck Destroys Fat Joe, Diss Track Breakdown, and Fat Joe Podcast Story Exposed. Who's Lying? TikTok creators used snippets of both the podcast and diss track to create engaging short-form content, leading to millions of views and shares. The virality of the story wasn't just driven by fans. It was amplified by the creators and commentators who kept the feud trending globally. The involvement of Tony Yayo, Uncle Morta, and even references to 50 Cent himself added additional intrigue. While they remained mostly silent, fans speculated endlessly about their potential reactions. Would Tony Yayo defend Fat Joe? Would Uncle Morta side with Buck? Could 50 Cent drop in to stir the pot further? Each possibility created suspense, with fans eagerly awaiting any move from these major figures. The tension kept the story alive and ensured that discussion would continue for weeks. The diss track also prompted debates about strategy, reputation, and street credibility. Fat Joe's podcast had been a calculated risk, putting a decades-old story in the public eye. Young Buck's response proved he was willing to defend his image aggressively, reinforcing that credibility in hip-hop isn't just about music, it's about perception, history, and how you handle conflict. Fans and commentators noted that this was a masterclass in narrative control, with each side carefully crafting their public image while keeping the drama engaging and explosive. The streets mirrored the online frenzy. In Brooklyn, barbershops, local hangouts, and music studios buzzed with discussions about the feud. Older fans shared their recollections of the original 50 Cent beef era, while younger fans analyzed the current social media reactions, memes, and diss track breakdowns. The fusion of digital and street-level commentary made the drama feel immediate, authentic, and culturally significant. Every lyric, claim, and counterclaim was debated, giving the story a tangible energy that transcended platforms, even beyond the hip-hop community. The story garnered attention. Blogs, news sites, and reaction channels from around the world picked up the saga, highlighting the universal fascination with rap beefs and the drama surrounding loyalty, betrayal, and credibility. The narrative had evolved from a single podcast revelation into a global conversation, illustrating the power of modern media in amplifying conflict and keeping fans engaged. Across multiple platforms, the feud had escalated to new heights. Young Buck's diss track ensured the story was far from over, creating an ongoing digital battle that captivated fans, commentators, and insiders alike. Social media engagement remained at an all-time high, with fans eagerly awaiting the next move from Fat Joe, Young Buck, or potentially any of the other figures tied to the 50 Cent beef. The tension was palpable, and the stage was set for the final act of resolution, escalation, or shocking twist that could redefine the legacy of everyone involved. The narrative had transformed into a multi-layered saga. Nostalgia, insider revelations, viral content, and real-time reactions combined to create a story that was impossible to ignore. Fans weren't just spectators, they were participants in a cultural event that blended history, music, and drama. The streets and the internet are waiting with bated breath. What happens next in this explosive hip-hop conflict? The answer promises to be even more shocking, entertaining, and unforgettable. The story has reached a boiling point. Fat Joe's podcast revelation about allegedly scrapping with Young Buck during the height of the 50 Cent beef has ignited a chain reaction, and Young Buck's new diss track has escalated the drama to new heights. Social media reaction videos, memes, and commentary channels are ablaze. Fans, content creators, and insiders are all debating one central question: who's telling the truth? And what does this mean for hip-hop credibility? Young Buck's diss track dominates the conversation. Every lyric is scrutinized, with fans analyzing punchlines, historical references, and hidden meanings. Some believe Buck successfully defended his reputation, cleverly undermining Fat Joe's claims with subtle jabs and factual rebuttals. Others argue Joe's storytelling on the podcast paints a compelling picture, leaving audiences torn between the two sides. Social media polls, YouTube comment threads, and TikTok discussions are flooded with fans taking sides, dissecting every detail, and debating the authenticity of each narrative. The streets of Brooklyn mirror the digital chaos. Barbershops, music studios, and street corners are filled with heated discussions. Older fans recall the original 50 Cent beef era, offering context and insider knowledge, while younger fans analyze viral clips and memes. The intersection of digital and real-world commentary amplifies the tension, turning the saga into a community-wide event where every detail matters. Loyalty, reputation, and credibility are on trial, and everyone has an opinion. The involvement of figures like Tony Yayo, Uncle Morta, and 50 Cent adds another layer of intrigue. While none have made official statements, fans speculate endlessly about potential reactions. Will Tony Yayo publicly defend Fat Joe? Could Uncle Morta side with Buck? Is there a chance 50 Cent will weigh in, reopening old wounds and further escalating the feud? Every pause, post, or story update is analyzed for hidden meaning, leaving fans on edge as they anticipate the next move. The broader hip-hop community also feels the impact. Industry insiders note that controversies like this influence credibility, future collaborations, and fan perception. Producers, managers, and other artists are watching closely, considering how public alignment with either Fat Joe or Young Buck might affect their reputations. This isn't just entertainment. It's a lesson in strategy, influence, and street politics, with real-world consequences for those involved. Meanwhile, reaction videos and content creators continue to fuel the fire. Channels break down the diss track line by line, compare podcast statements, and provide historical context. TikTok creators remix clips into short viral content, creating a feedback loop where every reaction drives further engagement. Memes comparing the digital drama to the original 50 Cent beef era go viral, blending nostalgia with contemporary controversy. This amplification ensures that the story stays trending, reaching both old-school fans and a younger global audience. The stakes are higher than ever. Fat Joe's podcast positioned him as a bold storyteller willing to reveal insider knowledge, while Young Buck's diss track demonstrates his commitment to defending his legacy. Loyalty, respect, and street credibility hang in the balance. Fans debate who has the upper hand, and every online poll, meme, and reaction video adds pressure to the narrative. What started as a rumor has transformed into a full-blown cultural event, captivating fans worldwide by the climax. The story is no longer just about the alleged fight, it's about narrative control, reputation, and legacy. Fat Joe and Young Buck are each trying to assert their version of events, and the audience is caught in the middle. The drama illustrates how modern hip-hop conflicts play out across both streets and screens, where social media, music, and history collide. Fans are not just spectators. They are active participants in a story that evolves with every post, clip, and comment. The streets and social media are on high alert. Will Fat Joe respond to Young Buck's diss track? Could other hip-hop veterans weigh in, escalating the feud further? Or will the story simmer down, leaving fans to debate who really has the moral and street high ground? The cliffhanger is clear. This saga is far from over, and every move could change perceptions, reputations, and legacies. The tension between truth, storytelling, and perception makes this more than a viral incident. It's a defining moment in modern hip-hop. Fans are left questioning who really wins when history, narrative, and street credibility intersect. In this high-stakes drama, control over the narrative is power, and both Fat Joe and Young Buck are determined to claim it. The story continues to evolve, leaving the hip-hop world hooked and hungry for the next explosive chapter. The streets are talking, social media is buzzing, and the Fat Joe vs. Young Buck saga has everyone on edge. Now it's your turn to join the conversation. Do you believe Fat Joe's podcast claims about scrapping with Young Buck? Or is Young Buck's new diss track telling the real story? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let your voice be heard. Don't just watch this feud unfold. Get involved. Hit that like button if you're shocked by the revelations. And make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on so you never miss an update on this explosive hip-hop drama. Every diss track, every podcast clip, and every social media reaction could change the narrative, and we'll bring you every development as it happens. Share this video with your friends, hip-hop fans, and anyone who loves watching real rap drama unfold. The streets are talking, the internet is buzzing, and the world is watching. Don't let your opinion be left out. Remember, this isn't just entertainment, it's a lesson in loyalty, reputation, and influence in hip-hop. Comment, like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because the next chapter could completely shift everything you think you know about this story. Speak up, join the debate, and be part of the conversation now.